take that breath, we pay attention to what we're feeling inside right now. Are there spots or spaces of tension? Are there spaces that feel like they need to relax? If there are, then as we move our attention with gentle purpose from the thoughts of our head, we just allow them to be. We just allow them to be off to the side and going by like ripples in a pond. We move into this body space, taking note of anywhere that we might feel that we need an extra breath, an extra bit of relaxation, where we need to move gently and purposefully into our heart center, to be centered in that presence, knowing that we are one individual in the individual oneness. We are an eachness in the wholeness. Each one of us moving through this experience, holding our faith, holding our beliefs, and we allow those to relax for just a moment. We allow those to know that there is a truth underneath every appearance. There is a truth underneath every feeling. There is a truth underneath each passing situation in our life that is steadfast. That truth is the one presence, the one power of God that is within all things. We know that whatever circumstances are happening in our lives, there is an unfolding that is deeper than we can know. There is a work happening at a level that is beyond our senses. We allow ourselves to come to peace. We allow ourselves, whatever thoughts we're concentrating on through the week, we just let them go right now for this moment and allow peace. We stretch into that feeling of absolute Godness, absolute peace, knowing that everything that happens on this earthly plane will come and will go. There are tides and seasons and times, and each one serves its purpose on a deeper level than we can see and know. We allow that to happen, to move through us, steadfast standing in the presence of God awareness, using our eachness to bring healing and love and peace, using our eachness to shine the light of God into this world, to ease the darkness that others may feel. We hold peace. We hold love. We hold light. And we take this opportunity, this energy that swirls in this room, we take this opportunity to share those feelings outward with everyone in this room, with everyone on our stream, with everyone in our area here. Peace, be still. Faith, be unwavering. Strength, be here to serve us and carry us through. And we allow that energy to expand. We send out our strength, our love, our peace, and we blast it right through these walls, out into the neighborhood around us, out into the counties and cities and towns, across the states, across the oceans, across the countries. We envision and see our earth from space as one. One. And we send that energy of oneness and love around the whole place. Saturating this earth with understanding, with knowing that in every moment there too is God. We envision our planet bathed in that Godness, in that light, in that love, in that support for just a few moments in the silence. And with another breath and an intentional envisioning, we see that love and peace and strength, that light, that Godness awareness settling in across our planet, easing the hurts, supporting those who need it, embracing all in a divine embrace. Grateful for our unity of purpose, grateful for the Godness that exists in all things. We say thank you, God, and so it is, and amen. So, something happened this week, and I'm just going to jump right into it. Because I know that as I stand here this morning, that some sitting in this room are ecstatically happy. That some sitting here in this room are slightly disappointed. That some sitting in this room are brokenhearted. And that some sitting in this room are terrified or furious. So I'm going to ask those of you who are sitting in this room quite content and happy at this moment to open your hearts for a minute, because I don't think it's any large secret that in Unity we have a very large population of LGBTQIA people, that in Unity we have a very large population of people in recovery, that in Unity, we have a very large population of people of color, and that can divide us down political lines sometimes. And I will tell you from the week that I have spent that there are a lot of people in Unity, including Unity ministers, that are standing as I'm standing this morning and not exactly knowing what to say. So, we don't hide stuff here. We don't bury it. We don't act like it's not happening. We don't act like there is a portion of this election that we just went through that is Democratic or Republican. And there is a portion of this election that we just went through that transcends that. And that is more personal. And that is more about the way that we have been raised to behave and be in this world. And there are people, oh my gosh, I'm just holding my breath today. May I say what I need to say and should say and have things heard the way that they should be heard and not hurt feelings and not alienate people. This is the most I've balanced on a beach ball up here since Pride. There are people who have not behaved the way so many of us have been raised to behave, to simply be kind and care about other people. This two-party system, I've said it before from up here, can sometimes be like a double-edged sword that we talked about last Sunday. That can turn from simply there are two parties that people belong to and can turn into two sides of a coin. And one side of the coin demonizes the other side of the coin, and the other side demonizes the other, and can take away people's humanity. I watched a movie this week, actually for my homework, that I would highly encourage everyone to watch. It's not a happy movie. It's not a fun movie. But it is so, so needed for us to understand this. It's called Origin. There is a movie called The Origin. That's not it. Origin. It is streaming now on Hulu, and I'm sure you can find it in other places. And it is based on a true happening, a book that was published by a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist who, when the Trayvon Martin case happened, everybody might remember that case. When the Trayvon Martin case happened, she was asked to write something about the Trayvon Martin case. And in researching it, she said, it's about that, but it's not about that. And this movie delves into how things like the Holocaust could ever happen. Or how, like in India, because in the U.S. we say it's race, right? We say it's race or sexual orientation, but what it is it's separation. In whatever guise separation happens, it's divisive. And if it is left unchecked, and if people forget that the people that they are pointing at are also human, and paint with a broad brush a people, it can dehumanize the people that they're talking about. And that can lead to things like a Holocaust or genocide. Or the fact that in India right now, everyone in India is brown. There's no different race. But right now, today, in 2024, as I stand here on this stage, there is a caste of people in India that because they are deemed lower than the low by birth, they're all brown people. That because they are deemed lower than low, they clean the sewers, not with tools, but with their bare hands and their bare bodies. This is what can happen when caste is allowed, C-A-S-T-E, is allowed to rule a people. This week, this month, this year, next year, when you find yourself painting a people with a broad brush and putting a blanket of something over an entire group, I want you to take a minute and stop it. Because we are all human beings. If the reason in the Holocaust that people, white people, could kill other white people was because they took their humanity away. And when the Jews arrived at the gas chambers, they shaved their heads and they took their clothes and anything that made them human. And they dehumanized them so that one person could kill another person without conscience. Now, am I comparing this election to that? No. I am cautioning us as a people to embrace what our democracy is supposed to be, to embrace what our unity should be, and to not paint a political party or a certain group of people with a wide paintbrush or throw a blanket over them all as if they are all the same thing. Because while I stand here and while I spent hours this week on the phone and talking with people who were in tears and who are ready to leave this country because they feel like they are no longer welcome or represented here. Breathe a second. Grieve. Grieve. That's what it is. The anger, the knee-jerk reactivity. It's grief, you guys. Because you had an idea of what you were hoping would happen. We set the stage here for it last week. We said, this week somebody's team's going to win and somebody's team's going to lose. And what are we going to do with it? Are we going to embrace it if we are the losing team and take it in and allow ourselves or a party or allow ourselves to dehumanize a party? More than 50% of this country is happy. Does that mean that they are a certain person that people have demonized? No, they're regular people like you and me. Some of the wonderful, most wonderful people I have known. Every single person that voted in this election voted their conscience because of the things they have come through, because of who they are, because of what they have held, because of their beliefs, all sorts of reasons. I had a friend of mine who happens to be LGBTQ on that spectrum who said, everyone here hates me now. And I encouraged my friend. I said, wait a second. In your daily life, now, okay, and I'm sorry, I'm about to step off a precipice and I'm not going to do it. We're not going to get into the political pieces of this discussion. There are legislation. There are people, yes. There are things that are taking rights away from people. And that's not okay. That's not what the United States was built upon. And we need to embrace each other in our daily lives. I was going to start with this, but I started walking off the cliff instead. So I want to back up for a second, and I want to paraphrase Ram Dass. He said, whether this is the first day of the apocalypse or the first day of the golden age, our work remains the same. To love each other and ease as much suffering as possible. That was our work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's our work every day to show up as unity. I say it here every Sunday when we hold hands and we leave after the peace song. I say, go out there and be unity. So whether you are rejoicing or whether you are questioning whether you are welcome in your country, take a breath. Reactivity is easy. Anger is easy. Fear is easy. Fear is faith turned inside out. It says it in our book this week. Fear is faith turned inside out. There have been a lot of political promises made through campaigns, through this one and every one. And we all know how many of those things come to fruition in the end. So breathe. Breathe a minute. Grieve. If you are of the grieving, please notice that that's what it is. It's not, it is anger maybe, but it's also grief. We need to process. Don't go list your house and start looking at houses in Canada, as I have heard people say. Breathe first. Or Ireland, or Scotland, or where else did I hear? I spoke with someone who was, anyway. Yeah, Portugal. That was couldn't remember, yes. Yeah. Well, and that's one of those other things, and this is a time to know that. If someone said to you, what is Sebring like? Or what is Florida like? Or what is your neighborhood like? Or what is your church community like? Your description to them is going to say more about who you are than who we are. Know that. What are we holding? What is the basis for everything? Is it true for you that there is one presence and one power, and that is God. I'm not even going on to say God the good, omnipotent. Let's just, is it true for you that there is one presence and one power? If it is, doesn't have to be. It's a choice to embrace what we embrace. If it is true for you, and you are ready to list your house and move to Ireland, or Scotland, or Portugal, or Canada, wherever you go, there you are. Okay? No matter what happens in this temporal world of senses, no matter whether you are thrilled with the results of the election or crushed by the results of the election, it is temporary. It is all temporary. And we are called in every moment of every day of everything. You want wholeness? We are called to note the temporary existence that we have, to note the temporary nature of things that happen in it, and to step forward and bring our Godness out. And no matter where we are and no matter who we interact with in a day, be that. You can right now, you can grab onto your anger and your hate and your fear, and you can feed that story or not. Or not. We have a choice in every single moment, in every single thing that happens, to respond or react. We have a choice in every moment to move through our reaction, to process our feelings as true for us, and to look deeper and say, okay, God is in this. If this is happening in my life, whether it's an election, a relationship, a move, whatever it is, if this is happening in my life, I can choose to have it here for a reason, and I can choose to embrace in faith, knowing that this and everything that happens is so that something may be revealed, so that it may be healed. That's our choice. Is it happening to me, or is it happening through me? Because no matter what anyone does in this world of time and space reality, we get to choose how we show up in it. It's our choice. Nelson Mandela sat in a prison and came out loving and happy and amazing. I saw this visual. I've seen it a few times, and it's got the little, how the Olympics has the three places, first, second, and third place. And I saw there's a small kids. It's a small kids challenge, and the person who is standing on the first prize with their little medal is crying and throwing a tantrum for whatever reason. And the person on third is gleeful. Our perspective is everything. My son played a song for me yesterday, and I can't remember the artist right now, but in the song, the artist said, don't just look at the lens, look through it. What is our lens that we are holding up between us and the world? Why do things happen to or through or for or against us? That's going to be imperative walking forward. What are we holding on to? This week's chapter was faith. I love this in the book. Again, it says, our first tradition in unity is there's only one presence and one power in the universe. Do we believe it? A second major premise of unity's teaching is that we create our experiences with our thoughts and beliefs. Eastern teachings say much the same. The Buddha said, we are what we think. All that we are arises with our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make the world. Whatever happens, whether you are happy or unhappy in this or any moment, you get to choose your experience in it. Are you going to trash your house and tear everything down? And okay, well, that's great in the moment. I would suggest punching pillow instead. Because that's great in the moment, and then you get to look around at what you just destroyed. That's a metaphor for life. Are you going to burn down relationships with every person because they think differently than you? Or are you going to take the opportunity to see if you can build a bridge? Are we going to take that opportunity? It's up to us. You got to take the time to reveal in you what needs healing. Figure out where it's coming from. And is it based in truth or is it based in faith turned inside out into fear? Are we looking at promises made and possibilities that could happen and reacting to them now? Oh, darn it, I can't remember this quote, but I think it was like Mark Twain or somebody said something about most of the worst things in my life that happened never actually did. It was all of the thoughts in my head that I thought they were going to happen. What are we going to do with the feelings that we have? Whether it's an election, whatever it is, what are we going to do? Tomorrow is Veterans Day. This is Veterans Day weekend, and it occurred to me during this week, for those people on both sides of the aisle, now is not time to gloat, first of all, if you're on the winning side, because people are hurting. I think we all know, even if we love the candidate that won, that there have been some really cruel things said. There has been some dehumanization happening, and that's not okay, no matter who we are. I was taught in kindergarten not to do that. I think we all were. So it's time for us to call everyone higher, including ourselves, and to create the world that we want to see, no matter what the circumstances are going on out there. No matter what. Those poppies, the reason the poppy has been the symbol of Veterans Day and or Memorial Day, depending on where you embrace it, came from World War I. The war stirred up the earth so much that poppy seeds that were under the ground, the blood-soaked ground, sprouted, so that the battlefields were covered in poppies weeks after they were covered in bodies. That's why. It came from a poem in Flanders Fields. If you've never read it, I suggest you do. Ooh, goosebumps. We've got this concept of fighting for peace. Think about that for a minute. In unity, we know that it's all energy, right? And so if we're holding on to something with a closed fist and anger, and if we're saying words that might as well be a punch in someone's face, it's the energy that is being transferred. And if we are holding the energy of fight, peace doesn't come from that. Fight comes from that. Peace does not come from fighting. The fight ends, everybody goes to their corners, licks their wounds, and then the generals or bosses or presidents or whoever was at the beginning of the conflict that probably wasn't in it at all says, okay, stop fighting now. Like each other now. It doesn't make any sense. Mike said it last week, and Mike woke up this morning not feeling well, and that's something in our Quest for Wholeness book that I want everyone to realize. If you get sick this week, it is likely from holding something inside your body that you are not expressing or not able to, or not sleeping well because you're upset, or not. All of those things come together in this perfect storm, and any thought held in mind has to generate after its kind. And if you are holding so much hatred or anger about a result, that stop painting it with a blanket. People that you love voted for somebody you didn't like. Don't stop loving them. It is bigger than this one day, this one election, a 4-year process. Everything is bigger than that. It is the energy underneath. And if we are unable or unwilling to look at our darkness and heal what we need to heal, it will continue to show up in our world louder and stronger and bigger until we will actually look at it and decide to heal it. Because the energy we hold is creative. It is generative. And if you are holding hatred, you are making hatred. So find your way through wherever you are in this moment. Because if you want to be whole, don't turn your faith inside out and live in fear. Yeah, anything could happen. And maybe it will. And what good is it going to do when the world falls or the bottom falls out of your life if you are left with nothing but hatred and anger and spiraling? You will not be able to find your feet. Hold on to the truth underneath the appearances, which is that things outpicture when they need to be addressed. If we do not address them, they get larger and bigger until we can't ignore them, and they must be addressed. If we fight for peace, we are just going to be left with more things to fight. Can we move through? Can we look through the lens we're looking for? Can we move into a measured response instead of a hateful or fearful reaction? Can we be bigger than those that we say we feel, we think are smaller, or that it's not a matter of actually being better than someone else. It's a matter of bringing peace. Yesterday I went to see my granddaughter in her marching band competition, and they placed first, by the way. Woo! And all of us parents and grandparents are sitting in the stands, and a lot of people are weepy because they know how much work it took for the kids to do what they're doing, and you're watching them and you're seeing them grow and mature and realize all of that's happening every day. Find something to pour your love into. Don't ignore it if you're angry or upset. Find somebody to talk to. You want to talk to somebody, please. It's kind of my job. Mike is here. I am here. We can have a group conversation if we need to. If you find that you have unresolved feelings that need to be aired out, let us know. We talked in our Wednesday's meditation. We usually have 4 to 6 people. We had 15. And there were tears, and it's because people need to be heard. You need to be heard. If you don't know that, express what you need to express, not in ways that hurt someone else. Don't lash out at somebody that you love or that loves you. Find a way to do what you need to do inside of you to find the peace that you need so that you don't breed more hurt in a world that is already hurting. We can leave a wake of destruction behind us, or no matter what is happening to us, we feel, we can leave a wake of love behind us because we choose to walk in God and see through what is happening. But on my way there yesterday, I was in McDonald's, my health food breakfast when I'm traveling. I was in McDonald's and they were really backed up. There were a lot of people there. And I just stood back because I order on the app because I'm cool like that. And my son showed me how. So, so I walked in, ordered on the app, didn't have to go to the counter, didn't have to do anything. So I'm standing back and I'm watching all these people and their various responses to this loaded, full lobby and the very slow service that was happening in Okeechobee. And there are people enrolling each other in the drama of how long they've stood there, of how pissed off they are that they haven't got their order yet, of how stupid these people are behind the counter. I listened to it all for a good 7 minutes. And then there were other people who were standing in line, talking to one another, playing with their kids. It was the same situation for all of us. We were all waiting way longer than we should for an egg sandwich. And I watched the span of what people did with what was happening in front of them. And there we are, right? Every moment, every day, there's our invitation. Can you stand back and watch reactivity and not buy into it? Not be enrolled? Because that's how things happen where groups of people get hurt. That's what could, if left unchecked, lead to an apocalypse. We cannot dehumanize. We cannot say, those stupid people, the minute you other someone else, you have stepped out of unity. Can we step back? Can we say, here's where we are. Look at this full boat of situation. What can I support that I love in it? Who can I support that I love in it? Where can I show up as God? Where can I calm the storm? Like that guy, Jesus, our way shower. The basis for Christianity, if you can consider yourself a Christian. Where can I create calm? Where can I be the calm? Where can I show up as God? And remember, as Mike said last week, that, people point to the left wing and the right wing of the bird. There was a time in this country, and God, I hope there will be again, where we remember and hold that we need both wings to fly. That the people in the left wing or the right wing are not stupid or idiotic or hateful. They may do things that are, but that is not what they are. And we do the bigger, bolder, nastier things when we feel separate from our source. Let's plug in. Let's be unity. Let's step up in ways that serve our communities, that serve the people that we love, that love louder, be more light, be more caring, be more unity. And that's how we create it and make bridges to it no matter what is happening in the world out there. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you.
Trish, Tina, and the production team thank you for joining us. You can submit a prayer request, donate, and find more information on our website at www.unityofsebring.org.